Check, check. Let's make sure we're streaming here. Whoop. YouTube. Okay. On YouTube. Now check Kick. Okay, we're not on Kick. So I'll turn that off. Alright. Anyway. Let's see. This live stream is gonna edit it. So let's see here, middle screen. Middle screen, here we go. Alright, we're gonna go to We Are Hospital Gate. Let's see. Let's go back. Go back to
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
kind of a long time ago, huh? Alright. So, Sir Doyle and I, we met for the first time on the bus. The second time we met was at the gym here. The first time we met was on the bus. And he told me the story of how he's a political prisoner. This is in 2014. Amazing how we come back around full circle. Get into that in a second. I resonated with Richard, Sir Doyle, because you're looking at us at the gym, the old gym that I was at, Pinpoint, and I came to this gym in 2014 after divorce and losing my house, losing custody of my kids. I felt like a prisoner. I still kind of do. I was homeless. I resonated with Richard because the system really isn't helpful. So he was drugged since early age. He was drugged since he was a kid. And that happens to a lot of kids. They're fed junk food, right? Then they get that ADD, ADHD type thing. And put on, I think his first thing was maybe Ritalin. But Ritalin has side effects. Let's look it up. Ritalin side effects. Trouble sleeping, decreased appetite, stomach aches, irritability, headaches, and jitters. Mood changes, heart issues, growth slowing, wow, or new tics. So, if you've ever seen Sir Doyle, you'll see in his face that he has tics. Let's see here. If we can get his face on stream. There we go. There's one. He touches his head. He's got the side of his face here, kind of like in a Joker face. Anyway, in this video, he's close to 60 years old. So let's say when he started being put on drugs, he was 10. 10 to 60. We're talking about 50 years of synthetic drug side effects. You can see in the corner of his mouth the tics. So not only does he have the original condition of junk food, then we have the side effects compounding over the years. More drugs, different drugs. He was on several drugs when we met, and I was the only person who told him that he could get off the drugs. And that information I'm passing on from my teacher, Dr. David Jubb. As per his book, Healing Metabolic Neuropathy. The idea is that so-called mental conditions actually are gut conditions. We don't have to get all into that today, right now, because I'm really just going to update you as to Sir Doyle's situation right now. But let's just say we've been working together for years and had a lot of progress. He transitioned to a plant-based menu and had a huge reduction in symptoms that enabled him to get off all psychotropic medication. Excuse me. All so-called medication. Last year, before he was arrested, he was not on any psychotropic medication. What he was on was pills for, I believe, anxiety. But I could be mistaken. He was on a reduced, whatever it was, he was on a reduced dose. He got out of the group home that he was in, and he got into his own apartment where it was a house with two other gentlemen with shared kitchen and things like that, but he had his own room and it was only three people in the house including him. I would see him once or twice a week, and we would film together. He had a job and he was doing pretty good. And I'm not taking credit for it. He did the work. He wanted to. I didn't make him do anything that he didn't want to. But I will say that I was the only person in his life, including his doctors, including his social workers, any police officer, any court officer, his family. Nobody told him he didn't have to take drugs if he could heal his gut condition, which was the original cause of ADD, ADHD, Tourette's, and tardive dyskinesia. So, ADHD is a gut condition. Research shows a strong bidirectional link between the gut microbiome and ADHD, often dubbed the gut brain axis, suggesting that gut health significantly influences ADHD symptoms. Studies indicate that children with ADHD frequently exhibit distinct gut microbiota profiles, higher rates of gastrointestinal dysfunction, like constipation or inflammation, and increased intestinal permeability, leaky gut. Gut microbiome dysbiosis. Individuals with ADHD often have an imbalance of gut bacteria, dysbiosis, including lower diversity in some cases or higher levels of specific, potentially inflammatory microbes. To boil this down to the simple language, it's junk food. Okay? Kids are given junk food, they get ADHD. To manage those symptoms, they're put on drugs, and those drugs cause further symptoms down the line, which are in often cases worse. So this is Sir Doyle a couple of years ago. I was downstairs in the first floor apartment. Um, we uh, we did a lot, like I said. Mm, made sandwiches. See how he doesn't chew though. Never taught to eat properly. How's that? Is that a common condition in the world? What's up, James? Free Dr. Doyle. When is he coming home? He's been in jail since last June, bro. Why are you asking now? You haven't been around, huh? See, people see Sir Doyle as kind of like a freak show, a circus act. You pop in, you laugh at him, and he's like a meme. You could just say free Dr. Doyle and that's okay with you. Just like the psychiatrists who want to put him on drugs and just kick him out the door. They don't want to deal with him. He's a sideshow. He's a number. They want to lock him away because it's too much to help. It's too much to help him make his food and really help him. Not just put him on drugs and kick him out the door. But that's what's happened to him. Let's fast forward a little bit so you could see where we were. Maybe last summer. You can see the hair's getting long. Ugh. I'm not sure this is TRT yet, though. But you see the big belly. It's actually constipation when you have um, a gut condition that doesn't um, have the proper bacteria, and the food compounding is just piling on. You end up with a bag here. It's got a small hole at the bottom, and it's just the material just piling up and filling his belly like this. Mm, good food for you, Sir Doyle. Oh yeah. And that really is the condition in here. In here is the condition that manifests up here. The tardive dyskinesia, the behavioral changes, the tics. It's manifesting in the head, the face, and the brain, but it really is starting in here in the gut. So, long story short, he was never cared for properly in the system. And that's what I'm saying here. He was never cared for properly in the system, and that's why I resonated with him, because I don't have the same situation as him, but in a similar way, I saw that in my own case, the system really doesn't work in our best interests. It actually is functioning in its own best interest. These people, like the doctors, the court officers, the psychiatrists, the police, the bailiffs, the judges, the attorneys, they're all collecting checks because of Sir Doyle's case. The social workers, they're all getting paid because Sir Doyle isn't getting taken care of properly. And you could say it's a medical conspiracy where, they don't want anybody to actually be healthy, because then the industry itself wouldn't function. There'd be no customers if people were fed right and had a supportive system. So, this happens to everybody. We're all fed improperly. We're put in the public fool system, taken away from our families, and over a lifetime, you end up with conditions, and they just want to dose you with these synthetic chemicals that are going to reduce symptoms temporarily, but then result in further worse symptoms down the line. The end result of this for Sir Doyle was testosterone replacement therapy. Let me see if I can. Uh, see if I could find the. final. One of the final videos. Hmm. Wow. It was a long time ago. Yeah, these are all old. Um, hmm. You, you're gonna see like him red in the face. Anyway, I knew it was gonna be a bad move when they put him on TRT. Oh my god, my hairline. Uh, yeah, I don't know where these videos are. Could be on my channel. Let's see. Hospital Gate. But show all. Hmm. Here we go. Alright, when was this? May 23rd, 2024, August 2024, September 2024, November 2024, August 2025. Alright, so this is the latest one on my channel. Let's see if we can see Sir Doyle's face, how red he gets. Hey, yo, that's not him. Yeah, you can kind of see it. See, I don't even think this is actually him on the juice yet. Home workout, music. Yeah, it's not really visible on this one. Long story short, he was put on TRT and started to get really red in the face, noticeably. I knew it was going to be a problem. And I warned him. I said, I wouldn't do it if I were you. You know, the the system that we're talking about, they put you on drugs and then they put you on other drugs to manage the symptoms from the first drugs that they put you on. So, Sir Doyle was getting fired up noticeably on stream. Red in the face and fired up. He was yelling, raising his voice. And did I instigate? Sometimes. Was I triggered by him? Sometimes, yeah. I would get triggered and I would take it out on him or, not be understanding with him. And for that, I'm regretful. I didn't care for him like he should have been cared for. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to deal with because, like I've been saying, the symptoms just get worse. The other symptoms that the the drugs kind of like push down the line, those symptoms come back worse in another way. So I didn't start the fire, but I didn't put out the fire either. I helped a little bit. I helped as best I could at the time. I have no regrets in giving what I could at the time. Can't go back and change things. This is where we are now. Sir Doyle called Laura Gillam's office. Now, if we go back just a little bit to 2014, when Sir Doyle and I first met, he was the first person to expose Pizzagate. Pizzagate is the original expose of the Epstein files. Sir Doyle saw, in his experience in the system, in the mental institutions, and in particular Nassau University Medical Center, he saw the human trafficking. And he'll tell you about it, or you can go back and hear his story, his testimony. But he was the first person to expose the high-level politicians and public officers' involvement in trafficking. He exposed it. And this has always been part of our mission together, is to help people and protect them. Our goal is to open facilities where people can be protected. Like, I want Sir Doyle to live in this building with me so that I can make all his food, or help him make all his food, and get off the drugs. We want to offer an oasis in this world away from the system as it is, which only manages symptoms and makes things worse long term, rather than get at the root, which is a lack of healthy nutrition and a safe space to grow up in. So it's always been a topic that Sir Doyle is passionate about, and because of the testosterone replacement therapy, he got very, very fired up over the phone and called Laura Gillam's office. Laura Gillam, I spelled it wrong. Laura Gillam is the New York 4th Congressional District Representative. She's a Democrat who previously served as the town supervisor in Hempstead, New York. She lives in Rockville Center, New York, next town over from here where I am in Lynbrook. Sir Doyle called her office. Laura Gillam worked at an entertainment agency before traveling abroad. Okay, so she's MK Ultra. Worked at an entertainment industry. It means she's basically a crisis actor put into this position to serve the New World Order. It's called Central something agency. Central Casting. Let's see what she says here. She supports the Homeland Security funding package. Yeah. You know, this is just a cover for taking away our rights. Homeland Security means martial law. Anyway, Sir Doyle called up her office, fired up from the TRT, and the psychiatric condition caused by the junk food, compounded by the side effects from the lifetime of medication. You know what? We're going to use AI for this. Let's see, behavior, new chat. I'm putting together kind of like not a theory, but a statement or a claim that my friend Richard, we call him Sir Doyle. Sir Doyle is in jail right now. He called a U.S. Congresswoman's office and threatened them for being involved in human trafficking. The official charge is terrorism, making terroristic threats. And I believe that they are locking him up indefinitely to shut him up because there's a big case involving the Epstein files, and it goes all the way to the top. And anybody who's in a political position has taken an oath to that system. And it's not to protect and serve us as we the people, but to serve the system itself. And Sir Doyle didn't hurt anybody. And yet his life has been taken. He's been locked away indefinitely because the charge of terrorism does not require someone to be given their due process. He can just be locked away indefinitely, and that's what's happening. He's had 3 court dates that have been pushed back, each time by 2 weeks, and he's been in jail since June. It's now almost February of the following year. No appearance before the judge. His court-appointed attorney has not seen him one time, hasn't returned any of my phone calls, which I've called her about 10 times. She hasn't asked him for permission to speak to me, so she doesn't call me back, she doesn't talk to me, she doesn't talk to him. He's just being locked away in jail and had his rights stripped from him. He didn't hurt anybody. He simply called the office of U.S. Congresswoman Laura Gillam and threatened the entire office for being involved in human trafficking, which many people suspect to be true because the Epstein list is very long and most of the information has been redacted. So we have no idea how deep this goes. That all policemen that have taken Masonic oaths, all lawyers, all judges, everybody in a political position, all can be involved because nobody knows what goes on in those Mason meetings nor any backdoor meetings where people can have taken foreign oaths or uh, uh, been participating in rituals or can also have been blackmailed, drugged, and done things on videotape which they don't even have recollection of. Maybe had their families threatened. Anyway, that's not what this is about. What I want from you is to put forth a claim that Sir Doyle was fed junk food as a kid from his mother, who was not a good chef. We're talking about Sir Doyle, who's 60 years old now in 2025. So this is the 60s when feminism was arising and women were no longer in the traditional housekeeping role. And when I say housekeeping, I'm talking about a stay-at-home mom, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. He was fed, you know, what we would call now HPFAs, highly processed food additives, or HPFs, highly processed foods. And this lack of care, lack of health food, caused him to have behavioral challenges combined with a family dynamic which involved his father not being at home and maybe even witnessing fighting between his parents. Whatever the case may be, he was uh, given drugs for Tourette's and ADHD, which only compounded uh, over the years because it didn't address the original condition, which is now shown to be a gut condition. These behaviors and mental conditions are actually caused in the gut. So, um, what I want you to do is put together a claim where Sir Doyle is uh, a victim of an improper menu, an improper medical treatment, and this is going on 50 years. Side effect after side effect, more drugs to put to deal with those side effects, and resulting in him being hospitalized, him being institutionalized, put into a group home. Finally, after working with me, reduced his symptoms down to the point where he could live on his own with two other men in his own apartment. He had his own bedroom and shared kitchen and bathroom in a house with two other men. But then, here's to top it all off, the doctors put him on testosterone replacement therapy, which at 60 years old is quite common. Even for me in my 40s and younger, it's common. It's easy to get a prescription for TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So it made him have basically roid rage, and I witnessed his face getting beet red, him getting fired up, yelling, raising his voice. All his symptoms just got exacerbated. So anyway, he called Congresswoman Laura Gillam's office and threatened them for being involved in this Epstein ring, and they got locked. He got locked up for making terrorist threats. Now he's indefinitely jailed and can't even get an appearance in front of the judge to ask for a new lawyer or a new psych eval. What we want to do is claim that he is the victim here. He's the victim of an improper menu, of an improper medical treatment, including the TRT. The system caused this. The system made him into what they're considering to be a monster that needs to be locked away. And since he's been in jail now for over 6 months, he's off all medications. He's nonviolent, hasn't gotten into any altercations in jail, hasn't taken any drugs. He's only on like the vitamins that they give him, and I think something for his blood pressure. I'm not exactly sure. But we want to get his case discharged, the charges discharged, and get him out of jail because he doesn't belong there. He's never hurt anybody, period. But I'd like to help from you to put together this claim that it's not his fault and he hasn't committed any crime because nobody's been hurt. So start from when he was a kid, include and go all the way up to now where we got to get him out of there. His last court date was supposed to be Friday, a week before today. And now, I saw him yesterday. The last time I checked this, it said his next appearance was going to be next Friday, the 29th. But now, as you can see here, his case is blank. So there's no information right now. See this? Now sometimes, like last time I checked this and it was blank, it had to be updated. But so I don't know what's going on right now. I did check because I went to the court on Friday and he wasn't there. And they said his case got scratched for the day. So I went back, I checked here, it was blank. I checked the next day, it said the 29th is his next court date. So that's shit. That says next Thursday. His commissary, if anybody wants to put money on his commissary, let me know. I put $20 on it so he could call starting Tuesday. But there's something called a sneak thief. This is what I heard from the the jail sheriffs and corrections officers. They said that if you leave your cell with the door, because they open the doors, to go out into the I'm not exactly sure how his situation is, but he goes out into the general area. People will go in your cell and steal your shit. He said he had left his phone card out, and they stole his phone card. Also, I put $70 on his commissary, and he didn't get any of his food because I think they're hustling him. I think the guys in jail are hustling him for shaking him down for his stuff. So anyway, we want to make this a known case. The judge is O'Donnell, and as soon as this gets updated, I will make another video and put everything together, put all the information together into a quick, like maybe 3-minute video, and then hopefully we can make this go viral. Sir Doyle is a victim of a systemic medical, nutritional, and psychiatric failure resulting in criminalization of a health condition. Early development factors: 1960s to 1970s. Sir Doyle, now approximately 60 years old, grew up during a period when childhood nutrition, neurodevelopment, and mental health were poorly understood. His early diet consisted largely of what would now be classified as highly processed food, lacking adequate micronutrients, fiber, and whole food diversity. This nutritional environment coincided with a destabilized family structure, limited parental supervision, emotional stress during formative years. Modern medical literature increasingly recognizes that gut health and early nutrition play a critical role in neurological regulation, impulse control, and emotional stability. These foundational deficits were never addressed at their source. Misdiagnosis and long-term pharmaceutical harm. As a young child, as a child and young adult, Sir Doyle was diagnosed with conditions such as Tourette's and ADHD and treated primarily through long-term pharmaceutical intervention. Key issues: medications targeted symptoms, not root causes. Side effects were treated with additional medications. No sustained attempt was made to address nutrition, gut health, trauma, or environmental factors. Over decades, this resulted in compounded neurological side effects: repeated institutionalization, loss of independence, increased emotional dysregulation attributed to the individual rather than the treatment protocol. This represents a cascade failure of the medical model, not criminal intent. Gradual stabilization through lifestyle intervention. Later in life, after he met Master Lukey, through non-pharmaceutical lifestyle changes, including improved diet, Life Food Certified, structure, and support, Sir Doyle's symptoms were substantially reduced. Successfully transitioned out of institutional settings, maintained shared independent housing, demonstrated nonviolent behavior, functioned without crisis intervention. This period demonstrates capacity for stability when not medically stabilized. Testosterone replacement therapy as a destabilizing trigger. At approximately age 60, Sir Doyle was prescribed testosterone replacement therapy, a treatment known to increase irritability and aggression in susceptible individuals, exacerbate impulse control disorders, intensify emotional reactivity if improperly monitored, following TRT initiation. Following TRT initiation, observable behavioral escalation occurred. Heightened agitation and verbal intensity were witnessed. Previous stability deteriorated rapidly. This was a predictable adverse reaction given his neurological history. The incident and disproportionate legal response. Sir Doyle made a verbal phone call to a congressional office expressing accusations and threats. Important clarifications. No physical harm occurred. No plan, no weapon, nor action followed. No prior history of violence. The act was verbal, impulsive, and non-executed. Nevertheless, the charge of terroristic threats has resulted in over 6 months of pre-trial incarceration, repeated court delays, no meaningful attorney contact, no timely judicial review, no updated psychiatric evaluation. This outcome is punitive rather than protective, and medical rather than criminal in nature. Conduct during incarceration. Since incarceration, Sir Doyle has remained nonviolent, has not engaged in altercations, is no longer on psychiatric medications, has shown behavioral stability, has complied with institutional rules. This strongly indicates the behavior prompting arrest was situational and iatrogenic. He does not present an ongoing public safety risk. Core assertion. Sir Doyle is not a terrorist. He's not a violent offender. He is a casualty of systemic failure involving poor childhood nutrition, outdated psychiatric practices, over-medication, inadequate monitoring of hormone therapy, criminalization of a medical episode. The current incarceration serves no rehabilitative, protective, or justice-based function. Requested remedy: immediate judicial appearance, independent psychiatric evaluation, review of medication-induced behavioral causation, consideration of dismissal, discharge, a diversion to medical supervision here at Life Food Certified. Release from pretrial incarceration. Sir Doyle's life trajectory demonstrates that when properly supported, he is capable of peaceful, independent living. His continued detention represents systemic harm, compounding earlier systemic failures. Justice, in this case, requires medical correction, not indefinite confinement. We ask your help. Connect with me. Go to masterluki.org. Here you go. Sir Doyle needs you.